Chira His divine grace, Bhakti Vedanta Dandi Goswami Maharaj Over ki Jai. Iskan Mandavacharya Shakti ki Jai. Patita Pavana, save the fallen souls, Shilabhavad ki Jai. Jayom Vishnu Param Paramahamsa Padivajrakacharya Asta Darzadashi Shriman. His divine grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Over ki Jai. Anantakari Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Nama Chandra Shila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Param Sakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasani Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Mayapur Dham ki Jai. Navadip Dham ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jai. Ganga Mai ki Jai. Jamana Mai ki Jai. Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Tushi Devi ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Gaura Premananda. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru Guranga. All glories to His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Plestaya Sundara. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasadi. Nivishesha Shunyavadi Vashanti Satari. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 9, the most confidential knowledge, text number 2. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Rajavidya Rajaguyam.
Rajavidya Rajaguyam.
Pavitram Idamuttamam.
Pavitram Idamuttamam.
Prajakshavagam Dharmyam.
Prajakshavagam Dharmyam.
Susukam Kartamavyayam.
Susukam Kartamavyayam.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vriksa Bhutadeva Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pashtaditi Sutarini. How can it be the most secret of all secrets? And we're distributing it everywhere. One can ask. How many Bhagavad Gitas have been distributed all over the world? How can it be the most secret of all secrets? Because even though it's been made available to everyone, it's on the internet, distributed in so many languages, still it remains the most secret of all secrets. Because, as Krishna points out in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, Sarvashitaham Prajishana Vishno Mataksmatir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. I am seated in the hearts of all living entities, and from me come knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So, because of that forgetfulness, if someone wants to forget Krishna, Krishna helps. He gives his agent, Maya Devi or Durga Devi. She's there to help the living entities. So therefore it remains the most secret. Because Maya is there to pull the wool over the eyes, to cover the vision. Even though it's as plain as day, this is the brightest light. It's the king of all knowledge. It's the most. It's as clear as day. You see, this knowledge. But it's so covered. People are so. They say that the concept of God is completely irrelevant. See, educated people. They say God is just some irrelevant, something for little children, like the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, and God, Therefore, it's covered, you see. Stephen Hawking will say, everything came out of absolutely nothing. Everybody applauds. Oh, what a great scientist. He's realized now he's on the cutting edge of science. He says everything comes out of absolutely nothing. Actually, it's nothing but rehashed Buddhism. That's all it is. Nothing new. But yet he's applauded as the greatest thinker in the world. To meet with presidents and prime ministers, he's so great, advanced scientist. Everything comes out of absolutely nothing. He literally said that. But where's the proof? Mr. Scientist, you're very proud of your laboratories and your experiments and your data. Where's the data to back up your theory that everything comes out of nothing? Where's the experiment that you did, that you took nothing and got something out of it, Mr. Scientist? Is it? Oh, I don't have any data. I tried it one time when I was in Kuala Lumpur. The devotees got me an apartment to stay in. There was a stove there, so we took an empty pot, we put it on the stove, turned on the fire, the electric coil. I was going, pop, 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 come on, pop, pop. No popcorn came out of the empty pot. You can't even get popcorn out of an empty pot. How can you get a whole universe, or from Vedic viewpoint, a conglomeration of universes out of absolutely nothing? It's absolutely preposterous. It's insane. It's inane. It's crazy. It's lunacy. It's just plain stupid. And he's called the greatest scientist in the world. Therefore, it's the most secret of all secrets. These people are applauded as the great pundits of the day, you see. It's really, the world is in such a mess. It's so screwed up. These are the people in the universities, the so-called centers of learning. Prabhupada said are simply centers of nations. You go in ignorant, and you come out even more ignorant. That's the program called modern day education. You go in ignorant, you come out even more ignorant. Therefore, what does Bhakti Thakur say? He says, this mundane education has made me as foolish as an ass. You know that bhajan by Bhakti Thakur? And he said, this realization is burning me like a piercing dart. So the most secret of all secrets. And then Krishna says, it is the purest knowledge. What does that imply, the purest knowledge? Well, there's the purest knowledge, there's pure knowledge, there's pure knowledge, and there's impure knowledge. So actually, impure knowledge is necessary. It's impure. It's so-called knowledge. But of all types of knowledge that's pure, namely the pure knowledge, the purer knowledge, and the purest knowledge, this is the purest, this is the top one. You see. Pure knowledge is impersonal Brahman. Purer knowledge is Paramatma. And purest knowledge is Bhagavan, Krishna. So if one can understand Krishna, then you've understood everything. Nothing is unknown to a person who's realized Krishna. So if you're going to major in a field of study, why not major in Krishna? You see? But where are the universities offering degrees in Krishna consciousness? Where are the universities offering degrees? Only Bhaktivedanta College has. Our ISKCON institutions now are teaching, but other than that, where do you get training in the science of Krishna consciousness here in Denmark besides ISKCON? It's not there. Therefore, these political leaders are not worthy of their positions. Any leader who is not seeing that the people are becoming devotees of the Lord, that they're being educated how they become devotees of the Lord, needs to step down in this position or change his program, switch his agenda. You see? It's the duty of every political leader to see that the people of his country are becoming pious and becoming devotees of the Lord. Not to promote any particular religion, but to promote pure religious practice, either as a Hindu, a Muslim, a Christian, or a Jain, or whatever it may be. And if they're not doing that, they should step down and let somebody else who's willing to promote God consciousness take over that position. The world absolutely requires this. Absolutely requires it. And because it gives direct perception of the self by realization. What is that self? Well, here's a small s. So we can understand self with a small s is the individual self. And that is described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jivara Swarupa Hoy Krishnara Nishada. The constitutional position of a living being is that he is the eternal servant of Krishna. You see? So, one who actually is blessed by receiving this knowledge from Krishna or from Krishna's representative, the bona fide spiritual master, or the Vaishnava preacher, you see? That person is blessed. He is given direct perception of the self by realization. Of course, there's different gradations of that. In the beginning, you see the self through the scripture. You read in the scripture that I'm not this body, I'm an eternal spiritual being. But gradually, by executing sadhana bhakti, regulative principles, under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master and the bona fide Vaishnavas, then you actually gain tangible experience. You experience that you're not your body. There's one lecture I play when I drive around in my CD player, when I drive around town in Austin running errands for our temple there. There's one CD I hear many times, there's 4 lectures on it, and in one lecture Prabhupada is saying how one who has actually realized he doesn't even feel the pains and pleasures of his body anymore. It's amazing. Think how much I feel the pains and pleasures of my body, and think how far I am from that state of self-realization that Prabhupada describes. Doesn't even feel the pains and pleasures of his body. That's pretty high level, very high level realization. Does not even feel the pains and pleasures of his body anymore, you see. So, that direct perception of the self by realization, that eternal spiritual being who has an identity in Krishna's pastimes, who was a man who has a manifested spiritual body and everything, to reciprocate directly with Krishna and Radharani and Mother Jasoda and Nanda Maharaj. You see, that's the high level realization of the self. But it starts off by understanding from the scripture. You see, I'm not this body, I'm eternal spirit. So how do you get from that introductory phrase, but it's like mostly just theoretical, you see, to the realized, fully realized state? That's by the process of sadhana bhakti. Rupa Goswami describes, Adao garashvayam sadhana prishcha sadhu vardhana gamanam. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1174. That's the verse number if you want to look it up. He says in the beginning, take short of a bona fide spiritual master. First step, Adao Garashvayam. And then he says, Sadharma Prishcha. Then you inquire about how to become self-realized. And then he says, Sadhu Margana Gamanam. Then you follow the sadhus. You follow that spiritual master and you follow all the predecessor acharyas. He guides you to follow all the predecessor acharyas. So the spiritual master is not a standalone entity. If he is, or he thinks he is, he's bogus. You see? If a guru is just speaking on his own volition, he's bogus. He's not a bona fide spiritual. He's a cheater. He's a rascal. A bona fide spiritual master is simply a messenger boy for the previous acharya. He delivers a message. First, he just thinks himself an ordinary devotee. Yeah, I'm just one of the devotees. That's all I really am. But I have this duty. I have to give this message that I received from my spiritual master. And I have to train people how, the same way that I was trained, how to take up Krishna consciousness with full absorption in the Lord 24/7. I have to train others in that art how to do that. That's how the spiritual master thinks. He never thinks he's some big shot. He just thinks he's a very lowly, fallen servant of his spiritual master. That's the qualification of a bona fide spiritual master. So we actually take up the process according to Rupa Goswami's powerful, dynamic, enlightened instructions. Then we achieve what's described in the next part of the verse here, the perfection of religion. You say, well, wait a minute. Is Krishna contradicting himself? He says, give up religion. Sarvadharman parityajya. Now he's saying the perfection of religion? I found a fault in Bhagavad Gita. One may argue, you see. So, is that really true? No, of course not. Otherwise, how would we follow this book? So one has to have a proper understanding. Why, on the one hand, he says, the perfection of religion. On the other hand, he says, give up religion. Why do you want to perfect something you're supposed to give up? You understand? It doesn't make any sense. So therefore, just like in your English dictionary or your Swedish dictionary, Danish, I'm sorry for the offense. One word will have several definitions. You see, the same word has different meanings in every language. There's one meaning for a word, another meaning for a word, another meaning for a word. So, similarly in Sanskrit. So you have to understand the word according to context. So dharma, in one sense, can refer to material conceptions of religion. Like nowadays, not everyone's conception of religion is material. And what religion do you belong to? I remember as a child, we were so trained in sectarianism. There was a little girl next door, Joni Osdick was her name. About the same age. I was about maybe 6 or 7 year old kid. She was about 6 or 7 year old girl, you know. And I was trying to think the Catholics are going to hell because they're not Protestants. And because, as a result of the training and understanding I got from my parents, I told little Johnny, Jesus doesn't love you. Can you imagine? The training, you see? Sectarianism. This is called religion. I mean, it's ridiculous. This is why so many people are becoming atheists. They're disgusted. Now, with the young people, spirituality is cool, but religion, uncool. Say the word religion, they say, get out of here. We don't want religion. Spirituality, yeah, going to a mountaintop, chanting Om when the sun comes up, that's great. But don't ask me to be a part of religion. Religion, they're screwing people around, they're exploiting people, they're causing the wars in the world. That's what they say about religion. So you have to understand, Hare Krishna is not a religion. Krishna consciousness is not a religion. Yet this is very important. If you want to preach in the modern day world, you better understand we're not another one of the religions here in this country. We're not one of the religions on this planet. We are not. You know, the Christian says the Christian church, the Muslim mosque, and the Hare Krishna temple were not other one of the religions. We are teaching the science of how to become a perfect lover of God, no matter what religion you may be attached to or not attached to. It doesn't matter. We are teaching you the science of how to realize your personal relationship with God. You see? That's what we're teaching. The science of God, not religion. You see, in that sense. So another way of looking at it, there's religion with a capital R, which is the pure essence of religion, which is what we are teaching. And there's religion with a small r, this religion, that religion, this religion. There's two understandings of the word religion. But which one is more correct? Well, if you want to know the answer to that, go back to Latin and see what is the Latin word from which the English word religion comes, and that is religio, which means to re-lig or reconnect.